Hi, welcome to Viewpoint. I'm Lily Newman, your host, and with me is Susan Solomon, my co-host, Executive Director of Drug Crisis in Our Backyard.
So nice to see you today,
Thank
Lily.
you. And our guest today is Kelly Chiarella, Director of Office for the Aging in Yonkers. How are you?
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for being here. So the Office of Aging, can you tell us a few things about it?
So first and foremost, I'm the Yonkers Office for the Aging. We are funded by federal and state grants that come through the county with a city cash match, meaning we are a city department. I would say for our viewers' purposes that because we come through the County Department of Senior Programs and Services, a lot of the same programs that I'll be speaking about are also offered in other places of the county, and you can reach out to the county department to find out what's available in your area.
That's good to know.
Yes, that's great.
Our office is located on Riverdale Avenue in Yonkers. It's part of the Peter Chema Community Center in South Yonkers. We offer a multitude of services. I have a phenomenal group of women that I get to work with every day that go way above and beyond to do what we can for the seniors in Yonkers. Yonkers is about 15% of Yonkers out of the 200,000 residents are seniors, and seniors are by census are 65 and over. Our services are 60 and over, so it's about 30,000 or more seniors that we are, we're available for. Our services are available for. Of course, if we reached 30,000, we'd
be a lot more people.
How many seniors do you service?
I would say it's thousands because it's across multiple programs, and it fluctuates. It's a changing situation every single day.
Could you tell us some of the programs that you offer? Because I was looking on the website, you offer a lot.
We do. So one of the larger programs is case management. I have 3 case managers. 2 of them speak Spanish.
That's great.
And basically what they do is we'll take an informal intake by any referrals. Referrals come into us from the seniors themselves, from family members, from doctors, from priests, from neighbors, from the police, from Department of Social Services, nonprofit organizations, whoever's dealing, and they send us a referral, and we will work out, we'll come to their home, do a home visit, and sit down and develop a care plan, offer advice and assistance, and see if we're able to provide some of the services that they need, or if there's something in the community that they're not aware of that we can help with, or possibly just information and assistance.
So what are some of the things, when you get a referral, what are some reasons for a referral?
So the intakes themselves are telltale. And I would say our services are 60 years and over. You can find a 60-year-old that has COPD and cancer and ambulatory issues as easily as you could find a 90-year-old with those same issues. But the intakes will tell us whether they're able to ambulate, if they're having trouble being independent. And basically what we try to do is keep people social, keep them independent, keep them living in their homes as long as they possibly can. We provide the services so that they could stay in their homes as long as possible.
And you provide food, right? Meals?
So one of the things that we do through our case management plan is a home delivered meals program. It's a 1 hot lunch per day that's delivered by our, we have 12 drivers and escorts out every day delivering meals all over the city. It's offered 5 days a week. The eligibility for it is basically to let us, as we come in, we do the home visit. If a person cannot lift the pots anymore, can't open the jars, can't get out to the store to carry the bags, if they can't stand to cook for long enough, then we'll assess that situation. And if they have no other means, meaning if they're not receiving Medicaid long-term care services, or they don't have a full-time home health aide, or a relative living in the house that could cook for them, then we're going to provide that service for them.
So it's not income-based.
It's not income-based. It's needs-based.
Needs-based. Great.
Needs-based.
Because that's what it's about, the need.
Right. But before and I will say that the escorts that are delivering the meals with the drivers, it's also a wellness check. So sometimes, for most cases, these homebound residents, our escort is the only person they're going to see in a day. So if the escort doesn't, if the person doesn't answer the door, and very often it's they forgot to tell us they were going to the doctor, But in many, many cases, we find them in some sort of a dire situation or worse. And so the escort's job is to tell the driver calls the office, we will call the next of kin, the building management, the police. We'll go into, we never leave a door unanswered. We don't leave at the end of the day not knowing what's going on with that senior. So,
So you do go above. I don't mean to. So you do go above and beyond.
We do, and because we're a city department and we have the links to the police and to the fire and to the housing situations and all of the other commissioners, we work well together in making sure that the seniors are safe in their homes.
That's great.
Yeah.
So that is, tell us more about your programs. That's one program, right?
That is one program. That's one. Home delivered meals is one of the things that we offer through case management. The other thing is supportive home health aid program called ISA. So basically, that has an income eligibility, and that has to be worked out with the case manager. I would say generally it works out best for middle income people. If you're very, very low income, we're going to help you get on Medicaid and work out Medicaid long-term care services. If you're very high income and over the eligibility, God bless you, you've got money, we're going to help you find a private pay aid. It works best for the middle income.
Okay.
But it's supportive of nature. It's medication management, bathing, light housekeeping, maybe 12 hours a week. So it's somebody that just needs a check-in a couple of times
Some
a
company.
week. Right, as a health aide, though, not as a housekeeper. Those are two separate things. If someone requires more than that, then we have lists of agencies, we have lists of private pay aides that have gone through and worked with some of our seniors, and we have other resources for people.
That's a big issue in our society today for families that are living alone. Parents that are living alone. One parent died and the other one now is living alone. This just happened with my father-in-law. And we were lucky enough to have enough money for him to have an aide 24/7. But most people aren't. And so you're covering 12 hours. So what happens, you're saying it's mostly for middle class, what happens for people that need more than 12 hours? What happens for people that need like 24/7 like he needed?
So there's a lot of factors that go into that as far as how much money they still have in the bank. Do they own their home? Is there any money in trusts? You know, what do they still have? And then whether they should, you know, what the diagnosis is also. Are they going to improve or are they going to decline? And you have to really be prepared and intelligent about that. For instance, if it's Alzheimer's and you have a diagnosis of Alzheimer's, you need to prepare in advance for that. And for many of the lower income, middle to lower income families, it's better to go on Medicaid long-term care services because you're going to know, that you're going to need more and more and more support.
But that means getting rid of your assets. That's what you mean by that.
Correct.
By preparing.
Yes.
Yes, I mean you have to get other preparations, but preparing is to get rid of what you own so that you can get Medicaid.
And that's a conversation. That is a real conversation to sit with the case managers and a personal decision on just how you're going to prepare yourself for the rest of your life.
Right.
And it's great that you have those services there for people who just have questions. They know that they can call, right? Because they can call your agency and ask anything.
Just get the advice. We don't ask anybody to sign on to anything, and we're not telling them this is what you have to do, this is what you should do.
Just giving them options.
We don't force services on anyone. You know, occasionally we'll get a call from police or fire, and they say we're really worried about this person, and we need you to go check up on them. Maybe we'll make that phone call or we'll send a letter, but we do not force services on people.
And I know that you take them, there's transportation also. You take them to the doctors.
We do. So we have, first we have 4 congregate lunch sites where we offer a hot lunch program. It's the same meal that we're serving for our home delivered meals.
They can go there.
Right. So when we're doing our assessment, our home visit, we often try to get people to be social first.
Got it.
Keep them out in the community, keep them talking to people. So we'll try to get them to come to our centers first. So our centers are the Peter Chema Community Center, where our offices are, Bronx River Road, the Scotty Community Center, North Yonkers Preservation and Development, which is by Lake Avenue in Yonkers, and then the Neperhan Community Center, which is down by Warburton Avenue. So we're in all 4 quadrants. They all have a little bit of a different flavor to them. So, and honestly, Yonkers has, I believe, 13 community centers, recreational community centers for seniors that have programs going on, bingo and exercise and knitting and arts programs and all different types of things. Ours is based on the nutrition program.
Got it.
But we do still, in those centers, have exercise classes, speakers coming in. We do supportive services out of there as well. So we do, between the congregate lunch sites and our home delivered meals, we're doing between 75 to 80,000 meals a year.
Wow.
So yeah, we're offering an enormous service there. But like I said, we try to keep people in the social setting as much as possible. They're vibrant. We're having parties. You know, they're connected to their community.
great.
We get to take them to the city events and the county events. You know, with all of our partners. We believe it's much better than just being home if you can get out.
That's right.
Right, absolutely.
So, excuse me.
It's all right.
So transportation, you mentioned, we offer transportation to come to the congregate lunch
Got it.
sites.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
We'll
great.
pick people up and take them to whichever site they.
So they can come in the morning and stay, or they don't just come for lunch. Well, some
It is basically based on the nutrition program, so I would say we're picking people up about 10 o'clock in the morning, and then we're bringing them home, depending on the day, 1:30, 2 o'clock.
So
So
they
they're there
still
for
get
a
some
few
time
hours.
out.
And during that time is when we have our exercise, our bingo,
Got it.
our dominoes, our pool playing,
So
our
they could go
speakers.
do something else.
Right,
as well. They
there's
could-
things to do while they're there.
Right, that's great.
And have lunch as well. And then we have all different types of supplemental programs going on as well
Like?
in the center. So we're doing a TIPS telehealth program right now through the county. We received a grant to pilot in 2 of our centers.
What's that?
It's it's like telecommunications. We're monitoring our seniors' blood pressure, weight, oxygen levels
okay.
on a regular basis, so that they're aware. Instead of having to make that trip to the ER or to the doctor
Right.
constantly, they're keeping track themselves,
Okay.
self-monitoring somewhat.
Can I ask you a little more about that telemedicine?
Sure. I'm not the expert in it. I'm the expert in getting the grant for the
Got it.
telemedicine.
Okay. Are they watching something, or has people been trained through telemedicine to take the blood pressure?
Yes, we have an agency that comes in to take the blood pressures and take the
all
oxygen
right.
levels.
But they've been trained
Yes,
through
we have trained technicians that come in and a
Yes.
social worker that comes in for wraparound services if that senior needs other support.
Yeah, actually, they're using that telemedicine in other
really?
industries, like in training Suboxone doctors.
Okay.
There was talk about training them via telemedicine rather than
okay.
having them to go to a
site.
a site for the training. But it's kind of interesting
I believe
developments.
it's the wave of the future, I believe.
Yeah.
Even going in home at some point, just to be able to self-monitor yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So
then that
it's
could
one
be-
of the programs, and we're also offering a chronic disease self-management program that also comes through the county. So again, it's offered, I'm sure, in other places. Right now, we're doing it in Spanish. We've already done a 6-week course in English. That's basically discussing with people their medication management, their sleep habits, their eating habits, their exercise habits, and how it all is a circular pattern in how you can support yourself to
It's a
get through whatever
holistic
chronic
approach,
disease.
taking
Correct.
everything into consideration.
Correct.
And
It's a wonderful 6-week program where people just get to sit down and discuss. So that's one of the other things we're doing right now. And then we also have speakers come in on all different topics. You know, we've got Beeline coming in next month. We do fall prevention. We do flu shots. We do, all different types of things. There's always something going on.
Sounds it.
So you're the director of this.
I am.
So how many employees are there?
Not enough.
There's never enough.
No, I work with, there's 9 of us in the office. 3 of them are case managers, and then 1 person in charge of transportation, 1 person that takes care of housing issues, 1 person that helps me with the grants and the contracts and the budgets.
a lot to
Thankfully.
do.
Well,
And
that's
then-
a lot.
That's a
9
lot.
people are running
That's
this
a lot.
whole.
Exactly.
lot.
Wow, that is not enough.
Right, and then we have
Staff.
10 drivers, and we have 12 drivers right now, and escorts that go with the drivers, and we have 4 sites with 4 site managers. We utilize other services because we're grant funded. We have to get creative with how to make the money stretch. So,
Right.
we have workers in each one of the congregate sites that come from Department of Social Services that support our what we're doing, and then it's resume building and it's job skills and it's all of that. Our escorts come from Juwonia or ARC. They're developmentally disabled, amazing people that are delivering the food that have been with us triple the amount of time that I've been. Some of them have been there over 20 years, and they're just phenomenal. So with transportation also, we offer transportation to the sites. We also offer supportive transportation, which is to shopping, food shopping, medical visits.
Right.
Most of that is done in the morning from 8:30 to 10 o'clock. Again, with the transportation money, our drivers are starting at 8:30 in the morning, and they're taking people to their medical visits, dialysis doctors. We have regulars that call us for their regular visits. So those drivers will be doing supportive transportation from 8:30 to 10, and then they're picking up their nutrition site people, taking them to a center, dropping them off, and then they're going to pick up their meals to do the home delivered meals program, and then they're coming back to the sites to pick up their nutrition people and take them home, and their day is done. And those are part-time 20-hour
20 hours.
That's
wow.
a lot
hour
to put in a
gentlemen.
day.
Right.
And I saw on the website it's a donation or an optional fee for things like $1.
It's $1 for transportation. It's $2 for our congregate lunch sites. It's $3 for our home delivered meals. You'll never be denied if you don't have the money. It's a suggested donation as the client is part of as a partner with us, as well as the city. It's pretty much a partnership across all levels, federal, state, through the county, with the city cash match and the client.
That's great.
So it's a partnership with everyone.
You know, it's great, and that's why we have Viewpoint, to let people know the different services that go on in all our communities.
Right.
Because I don't know, outside, maybe someone's in Yonkers that doesn't know that these things are available. Now, you have something called Livable.
Livable Communities.
What is that?
So Livable Communities is from Westchester County. It's an initiative out of Westchester County. May Carpenter is the head of Westchester County Department of Senior Programs. She's an amazing woman that gets a lot done. So Livable Communities is an aging in place initiative. Part of it is that we have these livable villages that form, so if there's a community center, if there's a church-based group, if there's a homeowners association that has a senior population, they can become a livable village. And all they have to do to connect to us is have one person communicate with us, give us an email. What we do at our level is we connect with all of the nonprofits and the livable villages that are in our community.
Okay.
And we have a quarterly meeting, bringing in a speaker on different topics, whatever the speaker might happen to be speaking on, and then there's a sharing time for all of the nonprofits to share what's going on in their organizations. And then we also have a Livable Communities calendar, which is linked to the city's website through our site, where all of the nonprofits are posting on their events, which helps for a multitude of reasons. First of all, for us and for my case managers to know what's going on out there so that we could refer to different agencies.
Okay.
And then also so that we're not duplicating services across the city as well.
Got it.
So everyone could see who's doing what and when.
So the Livable Community, so then how many are there, if I'm grasping this, in Yonkers?
The villages,
That's what I'm trying to understand.
I wouldn't be quoted on this.
Okay, no.
I'm going to say 10 to 13 villages at this point.
So the villages,
But I could be wrong on that.
and now it's all the agencies,
then the-
nonprofits that are in that area that are connected with this village?
So the villages are like the community groups.
Yes.
They create, but they just call themselves a village.
Got it, okay.
It's
But
a
they,
one place.
and they're all seniors.
Yes.
The villages are all seniors.
Yes.
Got it,
Everything
okay.
we do is senior
So
related.
let's say like the Osborne.
Oh,
Correct.
Got it.
Okay,
All right.
so the
got it.
Osborne is
They
that
could
could be
be
a
a
village.
village,
They
got
could
it.
be
They
down
could be
in-
a village
Got
amongst
it.
themselves.
And this is
Okay.
for Westchester.
Yes.
Westchester.
Got
They
it.
might be a village for all we know.
Got it. Okay.
So because they are senior residents.
Got it.
Okay, so they would have a village, and so there's 10 or 13 of those. And then the nonprofits only related to aging?
Senior services
services.
for this meeting. For livable communities, it's basically senior services, although people share the gamut. We do also have a Healthy Yonkers initiative, which is health-based organizations that come together. It's the same thing, same type of conversation on health-based initiatives.
Got it.
And that one also doesn't necessarily have to be senior related. People discuss everything. We've had Narcan training there. We've had first aid training there. We've had the hospitals come together and present what they were doing at different stages.
I've got a quick question. With your seniors and the opiates, what are you finding with the seniors? They're mixing their meds, opiates, pain meds.
You know, I think it's a better question for our police and the EMT. Do we see? Yes, when we go in and do home visits, do we assess and find that people have addiction issues and do some proper referrals? I don't have statistics on whether it's an increase, but absolutely it's an issue. I'm thankful that there's a prescription drop box in every single hospital and in every single police precinct, and then there's constant initiatives, including one coming up from our office where we're going to be doing prescription drops. And just education. It's really about educating people. It's a conversation that you and I have had, and there was a large conference last year held by Oasis and New York State Office for the Aging on this topic, that a senior at 85 years old that becomes addicted to their oxy is not the same as a 25-year-old who has, is a drug addict, and they have to be treated differently.
That's right.
You know, they need a different setting. They need to be talked to slower. They need to be separate from this community. It's a specialized type of treatment and conversation for sure.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Is it an issue? Absolutely. As prescription drugs flow freely, and as you know, those prescription drugs sit in cabinets for children and grandchildren to also
visit.
That's
to
why
go through the
we
cabinet.
always tell them to
Lock
throw
it
out,
up.
go to the prescription
the
drop-off centers and get rid of your prescriptions.
Absolutely.
And there are a lot collected.
Yeah, lots.
Yeah.
They do
so
pounds
I just
of it.
want to go back to that, the senior citizens that need different treatment than, you said, drug addicts.
Well,
so I'm going to say, I'm going to change that to young adults who are addicted to drugs or may have the disease of addiction.
I apologize. Absolutely.
It's okay. It's all right.
Absolutely.
I'm very sensitive to it.
Understood.
Yeah. So we also think that young adults, like the 12 to 18-year-old or 12 to 21-year-old, needs to be separated from the young adult that may be 21 through 30, because I think that their issues are different, and many treatment facilities lump them all together. And so not only do we need to separate them for the seniors, we need to do that for across the board. To really get better results, because we're not getting good results right now. And recently I heard that in Florida they had their first overdose of heroin from a senior. That was
was discussed last year at the conference also. It's not something that's not happening. It's not something that's not being discussed.
Yeah.
We're coming into a different generation of seniors.
Right.
The people that are becoming seniors now went through the 60s, went through Vietnam, went through, the 70s and the drug use. They're not, the same senior from the 30s and the 40s anymore. Right. So we're seeing, the sex, drugs, and rock and roll group is coming into their senior years. Right. And so it's a little bit more readily accepted to take a prescription drug or to try and find a way to medicate yourself.
Right.
Yeah,
and medicate.
Right.
And go on.
The other thing is that because this information about the addictive quality of these painkillers, it's not all over the place. It's more all over the place now than it ever was. But 4 years ago, we weren't hearing about this, and people were being prescribed these painkillers like crazy, all ages.
Right.
And so a senior now, may have gotten addicted 4 years ago. And now I know someone who is actually has chronic pain and is addicted to its medication. And now that they can't get the medication anymore, it really puts them in a difficult position, because they are addicted and it's painful to withdraw, and they do have pain.
That's right.
And it is kind of another mess.
Agreed.
I went to a webinar about that, and two gentlemen were talking about people that have legitimate pain cannot be lumped in with people who are abusing a substance. Correct. Because they need that, and to cut them off is, you got to find another way to help people in this with these disease of addiction.
Yeah.
And we are running out of time.
Okay.
would you like to just sum up? What would you like the audience to know? Would you like to give them your phone number? You can
I
talk
would
right into the
say
camera.
that, you know, we talked about a lot of services. Information and assistance is the number one thing that we offer. There is no stupid question. Just call the office, 377-6822. 377-6822 with any questions or if you need advice.
Thank you. It was great having you.
Very interesting information. I'm going to use that. I'm a senior myself, you know, but I don't live in Yonkers. I didn't know there were so many services available, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, well, they're through the county. It's just that Yonkers is a bigger animal, so we get everything.
Yeah.
Where Yorktown, Somers, Carmel, they all get a smattering.
And you don't know how many services are offered in Yonkers. Down there.
It's a good place to retire to. People always say they poo-poo Yonkers, but that's not exactly, you know, because we have Beeline, we have paratransit, we've got us, we've got all these other services, we have municipal housing, you know, we have plenty of senior complexes, plenty of nursing homes.
And you've got the train right there into the city.
You've got the
Go to a
train, you've got
play,
everything.
go out to dinner.
We've
It
got
really
all these
is a
other
good city.
nonprofits. We've got all.
It's a great city. It really is. Right on the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. I lived in Yonkers for a while.
Did you?
Yeah. So, where exactly is your office now? Could you explain to me again where it is? You said the community building, but I don't know. I am fairly familiar with Yonkers.
The building actually is the 3rd precinct. It's down on Riverdale Avenue.
Riverdale, okay.
All the way down by the Bronx borderline, by Valentine Lane. Peter Chema Community Center, 435 Riverdale Avenue.
Riverdale Avenue, okay. Yeah, that's right. That is the one right before the water, isn't it? Riverdale Avenue? Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes.
right before the water.
Yeah, we run parallel.
Yes, okay, run parallel to the water.
There's no offices, but we're a city department, so we're in City Hall all the time and
yeah,
running around.
right. That's good. That's great.
Thank you. Thanks.
No, thank you.
having
Really,
me on.
thanks for being here. We done?
I think so. Okay, I think you got to keep talking
I was going
about
to ask
something.
you.